Having access to hot cues, loops and rolls on the decks themselves might be commonplace today, but it didn't always used to be that way. This is the story of the Novation Dicer. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is DJ Holland and welcome to Tried and Tested, the series where we talk about the history of some notable and key pieces of DJ hardware. Today, we're talking about the Novation Dicer, a product that literally changed the game for turntablists and early users of Serato and Track to Scratch. The Novation Dicer was a pair of small controllers that could be fitted to the corner of almost any DJ hardware. For the first time, DJs now had access to performance features such as hot cues, rolls and loops directly from the decks themselves. Now the story of the Novation Dicer goes all the way back to 2008 with a man called Ian Golden. Now you may know Ian, he is the face of DJ Tech Tools and the man behind it, and Ian was a very early adopter of MIDI and the capability and the performance features of using MIDI with DJ software. Now, back in the late 2000s, DJs were just starting to jump across to early DVS systems such as Serato Scratch and Track to Scratch, but they weren't really using the software to the maximum of its capability, and that was because they didn't have a way of accessing the features from the decks they were using. So, you know, today we take it for granted that we've got hot cues, loops, rolls, even slicers and such on the decks themselves. But back then, that just wasn't capable. You'd have to move from where you're working over to your laptop and use your keyboard to access some of these features. And Ian wanted to change that. Ian had a history of creating handmade controllers and selling them on his website, DJ Tech Tools, using arcade style buttons and whatnot. And these were really capable and opened a lot of people's eyes to the possibilities of MIDI and what it could be doing for them. But these were big, bulky units. Now, Ian knew that if he was going to make turntablists especially use this software to the maximum of its potential, he was going to have to make it smaller and make it really, really easily accessible from the deck itself. Now, back in 2008, most DJs were using 1210s still, if not early CDJ models. So, knowing that the 45 adapter was very rarely used inside the DJ box, Ian went out and cut out a piece of cardboard and named it the MK5. Now the Mark V was a little cardboard cutout that would be fitted with arcade style buttons, such as some of Ian's earlier designs, and would slot into the 45 adapter hold at the bottom of the deck. Ian took this design round a few of his DJ friends and turntablists and showed them it. But weirdly, the reception wasn't all that great. They just didn't see why they needed all these performance features on the deck. They just didn't see the point in it. They were used to just getting on with the art of turntablists. You know, there was no such thing, so they didn't really know what they were missing out on. But not deterred, Ian went off and knew that this product, to be a success, had to be sold in bulk. This couldn't be something that he could just sell on the DJ Tech Tools website. He had to make sure this was sold to the masses for it to be adopted and to put these performance features at the forefront. So Novation enters the picture. Now Novation had a history of creating MIDI devices and controllers, and Novation made some key changes to Ian's early cardboard cutout design that made the Dicer what it is today. Most notably, the 45 adapter was now removable, meaning that the Novation Dicer had a flat back. This meant that you could fit the Dicer to any product you liked. The Dicer was shipped with a black gooey substance called DJ Putty inside the box, and this DJ Putty was like a gummy substance that allowed the Dicer to be basically stuck to any device you wanted, most notably the CDJ 1000. Now you could stick the Dicer to turntables using the adapter, you could stick it to a CDJ using the putty, but you could also stick it on a mixer, your laptop, or even the surface of the DJ box itself. Another key design change was the use of these rubber pads, which made construction not only cheaper but a bit more durable, and the addition of the dice markings on them. Now the dice markings are really clever because it doesn't matter if you have your Dicer on a turntable in a battle layout like this or in a regular layout, the markings are still the same. Unlike regular text, which would obviously be turned 45 degrees and be unreadable from the side, the Dicer design with the dice markings allowed you to fit the dicer any which way you wanted. You could have it upside down, to the left, any way you wanted. You could still read the markings and you could still use the product the same. Now the dicer allowed DJs to access 3 different pad modes. It was changeable on the device itself with the small buttons in the middle. It gave access on Serato to hot cues, loops and rolls. Now this was the first time DJs had ever had access to these just away from the platter itself, and it became so popular. The ease of use to set up, being a MIDI device, there was no drivers to install. You simply plugged in a USB cable straight into the side of the dicer, and then you connect the second dicer with an 1/8 inch cable. 1/8 inch cables are easily found in the DJ booth. They're most commonly used as auxiliary cables. So a cheap replaceable cable, and these little units were shipped at $99, meaning it wasn't an expensive product. It was accessible for everyone to go out and buy. So the left hand one that you plugged in with the USB cable, that would become your deck 1. The auxiliary cable, the 1/8 inch jack cable that connected the second dicer, would become the right hand deck. And these being a MIDI device, there was no drivers, they just simply worked. You plugged them in and away you went. Serato natively had a mapping built in, but being a MIDI device, if you wanted to change the mapping, you could do. Also, Ian made available his mapping for track to scratch on the website, so if you were a Traktor user, these were compatible with your software as well. Now, to say these were a success would be a massive understatement. I cannot remember a time in my DJing career where I haven't seen dicers being used. Even in 2020, I still see dicers being used. You will often go in a DJ box and look in the corner of a CDJ and see the residue of the black DJ putty that these used to be stuck down. They are still extremely popular. I put an Instagram poll on our Instagram to see who was still using these just yesterday, and 20% of our users were still using these. I mean, that's incredible. I can't think of another product that's 10 years old, costs just $100, and is still being used today. Now, obviously, the dicer has been discontinued. It just wasn't selling as well anymore. And the reason for that is because DJ technology has come on a long way in the last 10 years. But these heavily influence the products that came after them, and consequently, the products that destroyed the Novation Dicer's market. Obviously, the devices we use to DJ became MIDI compliant as well. You can plug in a CDJ to your DJ software and use the buttons on the CDJ itself to access performance features. You can even use modern day turntables such as the re-loops with the pads along the bottom as MIDI devices. You can access those features on the decks themselves. We had the DDJ SP1, another product we've covered on the channel. Click up here to watch the try and test it on that. We had the SP1 come along, which just added a bit more functionality. You still saw the SP1 not being as popular because of the Novation Dicer. The Dicer had the advantage of being so small and accessible that you could stick it anywhere, whereas the SP1 needed a stand and you needed to move the DJ box around to fit it. But the SP1 brought more functionality with it. And then we started to see the rise of mixers having pads in them as well. Battle mixers now have a full range of 16 pads, screens, access to all the effects and whatnot, sadly meaning that these little controllers are a bit redundant. But that's not to say that these weren't super critical for so many DJs around the world. You know, I always look back at these products and the launch videos around their time, and I think Blakey, obviously the Serato DMC UK champion, he summed it up perfectly in what he said about the Dicer when it was released. He talks about the ease of use, the ease of setup, and how portable and compact this is. I'm just going to play a small clip from him now, all the way back in 2010, that sums this up so perfectly.
What do Dicers let you do that other little controllers or big controllers don't allow you to do?
The main difference with the Dicer is the fact that it's there on the deck. It's part of the turntable. It's not an external piece of kit that you've got to go over here and hit the buttons on and then back to the turntable. It's there. It is part of the turntable, and that's the main thing for me. That's the reason that I've never ventured into using other MIDI controllers and cue point systems, because it isn't part of the decks, and the thing that I have to concentrate on using the whole time is the turntable, because I'm a turntablist, and it's like a little extension of the 1210. It's perfect, really.
So as you just heard, these were small, they were easy to use, and they were just millimeters away from the DJ's hand in their performance. They really were so popular for so many years. So at the end of every tried and tested, I always say, would I recommend buying a pair in 2020? Well, probably not with this particular device, you know. Controllers, decks, turntables, mixers, they all have the performance features baked into them now. But the Novation Dicer paved the way for all these devices to become MIDI compliant, and it allowed a whole generation of DJs to level up and access all these features. I really can't understate how important these were. If you've enjoyed this video and this look back at the Novation Dicer, please do give this video a thumbs up, it helps us out greatly. Did you own a pair of Dicers? Did you use a pair, or did you ever see a set being used in a DJ box? I'm sure most of you will have done. Let us know in the comments below about your stories of the Novation Dicer. These have been extremely popular. Every single DJ I know, including ourselves in the office, have all owned at least one pair in our time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. Hit that bell icon so you're notified when we upload more videos, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Take care.